Hello, welcome back to 9.4 Transforming Quadratic Functions. I'm doing the guided practice problems that are on page 617. If you're looking at the PDF, it's page 32. And these are just examples, that are just like the homework that you're going to be doing. So after you watch this video, then you can pause it and do these problems in the homework. Do the problems that match up with this, you can tell because they have the same directions. All right. And then watch the next video and then do those problems. Hopefully that'll work out. In this, we're going to order the functions from narrowest, the skinniest graph, to the widest. Okay, so we need to find out what the a is. Remember, we have f of x equals a times x squared. If a is bigger than 1, it is narrow, and the greater the number is, the more narrow it is. And should have given myself some space here. If a is less than 1, but let's keep it positive for just a second, so between 0 and 1, then it is wide. And of course, if it's negative, then it flips upside down, so we have to do the absolute value. So we're gonna find the absolute value of that. All right. So for this one, the absolute value of a equals 3. For this one, the absolute value of a equals 2. So both of these are bigger than 1. They're both going to be skinnier than the parent function. So which one is the skinniest, the narrowest? It's the one with the biggest number. So the narrowest is f of x equals 3x squared. And the widest between these two, it's not going to be very wide, but just between these two, the widest one is going to be g of x equals 2x squared. You start with the bigger number. Number 2, the absolute value of this a is going to be 5, and the absolute value of this a is also going to be 5. The absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5. These are the same. So these two functions have the same width. The only difference is that this one's reflected upside down. Smiley face, frowny face. Problem number 3. So I don't know where to write it. I'll just write it right here. The absolute value of a is 3/4. For this one, the absolute value of a, the absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. And for this one, the absolute value of a, the absolute value of negative 8 is positive 8. So which of these numbers is the biggest? That one. So the narrowest is going to be h of x equals negative 8x squared. The next, because there's 3 of them, there's one that's halfway, and not exactly halfway, don't say that. But the next narrowest is going to be the next biggest number, which is g of x. And even if it's negative, we're only talking about the width. And then the widest graph is going to be the one with the smallest number, which is still positive, which is going to be f of x. So again, ignore the negative. The 8 is the biggest number, so that makes the skinniest or narrowest graph. The next biggest number is 2, so that makes the next narrowest. It's wider than that way, so they get wider as you go down and narrow as you go up. And then the widest graph is going to be the one with 3/4. For number 4, this one, my absolute value of a equals 1. I don't see it, but it's there. For g of x, the absolute value of a equals 4/5. A is negative 4/5, but again, the negative just tells me that there's a reflection. And then for this one, the absolute value of a equals 3. So you got 3, 4/5, and 1. Which of those numbers is the biggest? That'd be 3. So the narrowest, h of x equals 3x squared. The next, again, the one that's between the two extremes, 1 is bigger than 4/5. They're close, but 1 is bigger than 4/5. So the next one's going to be f of x equals 1x squared, which is just x squared. And then out of these 3, the widest graph is going to be this one. G of x equals, actually it's negative 4/5. I'll squeeze that negative. Negative 4/5 x squared. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.